But that first one, like, again, shot wide of the net. Bouchard doesn't pick up his man. Jarry doesn't maybe handle that puck the way you'd want him to. And we'll get a look at it here on the screen. But, like, there was also a decent amount of contact there. I was mildly surprised the Oilers didn't challenge this goal. But again, you go down 1-0 early. The last thing you want to do is put Dallas on the power play and risk going down 2-0 early on in the hockey game. They went down 2-0 anyways when Sam Steele scored his 11th of the season. So it was 3-0 by the end of the first. And again, when you have a team that's humming the way Dallas is and you just kind of gift them one right out of the chute and you're down 3-0 after the first. I know Jack Michaels will always give us his sort of, they're not done. This team's no lead safe against the Oilers. When it's a team as good as Dallas, it kind of felt like, yeah, nope, this lead is probably safe.
Well, and that first goal, so not only did it feel like more than just a goal for Dallas, like you said, with the way they're humming, but it felt like more than just a goal for Jarry, too, who actually did look pretty good in the third against Colorado, had some confidence, and then immediately just taken away from him. And it felt like that happened immediately.
Yeah, and we talked about that yesterday where, from a mental perspective, was it good for Tristan Jarry to just get thrown into a game against Colorado and perform really well? And maybe it would give him that little bit of all right, I'm back actually. I can stop good players. I can make big saves, all of that stuff. I worried a little bit. All right, going up against a Dallas team, very potent offense. Again, best or second best team in the NHL, depending how you want to view it. He then had, 36 hours to sit there and think about that game. And he's a guy who's fighting for the crease right now. If he would have came in, and again, we're dealing in hypotheticals now because this didn't happen, but if he would have came in and played well last night, there would have been a real conversation, maybe not tonight, but Sunday when you're back at home, there would have been a real conversation of who are you starting in that hockey game? Because again, Jarry could have almost won the crease back with another good effort last night. It was anything but that, and now you're at the point where you're just hoping that Connor Ingram is actually 100% and they're playing him because he's truly healthy and not just playing him because they're like, holy shit, we can't trust Jarry again.
Well, it felt like there's been a few short stretches where the two goalies are fighting for the starter's position, but more so it's felt like who's fighting for who can lose it harder. Yeah. You're just who do we trust least? Okay, they're not our starter right now, but yeah, and hopefully
Jarry's running away with that.
Yeah, we have a winner right now for sure.
Jason Robertson made it 5-0, and the game wasn't even halfway over. It was a shot that, again, when it rains, it kind of pours. If Tristan Jarry had not given up the other 4 goals in this hockey game, and the Wyatt Johnston one to make it 4-0, that was horseshit, dog shit, whatever kind of shit, penalty killing you want to call it. He just stood there in front, and Darnell Nurse was just well, too bad. But that last Robertson goal where it goes off the post, off Jarry, and in, and then it's again, if the other 4 goals don't happen, you'd look at this and be like, you know what? That was maybe just a little bit of bad luck. But again, when everything else is going, even in the third Robertson goal where it goes off the post, off him and in, there's bad luck. There's bad goaltending. The system in front of him is brutal. They cannot play an acceptable level of defense. And we'll talk more about that in a little bit. Everything went wrong last night. And everything went wrong against a good team. And that's what you get.
Do we feel like he's in the right position to make these saves most of the time, and there is some bad luck tacked on top of poor goaltending, or is it genuinely he's just playing really bad right now?
That's a really good question. And maybe this is where, again, I'd want to have a goalie expert on, a Carter Hutton, who can tell me a little bit more about these goals. Because that Jamie Benn goal, there was some contact there that threw him off, and then Bouchard didn't pick up his man. I also look at that and Hutz has told me the number one thing to watch for is how often is a goalie going outside of his post. If a goalie is sharp on his game and focused and not being lazy, they'll never leave their post because there's no sense in being outside of your post because a puck that's going wide of the net can't really hurt you all that much, right? So you watch that first one with Ben and you go well, he's sliding outside of his post. He's not putting his foot down. He's not staying in control and the puck goes in. The Jason Robertson third one, he's in a good spot. His reaction time is maybe bad. And then again, it goes off the post, off him and in. So I don't know. I think it's one of those things where Tristan Jarry would probably tell you everything's going bad right now.
Yeah.
There's not really a lot of positives to pull.
It was wild to hear that even in practice, he was getting scored on a lot. That's not a good sign.
I just find he's swimming out of his crease so often. That very first one from Jamie Benn. Yeah, there's some traffic there, but he's completely moved to the edge of the blue paint where, you're not going to stop the puck there. And it feels like it's not even just one thing. It's multiple. And then there's points in the second, third where you're like, oh, he's making some solid saves right now all of a sudden as he was kept in there. First half of a back-to-back. He had to wear that entire game last night. But Lance says it here. He's just playing bad.
Yeah.
He is. And I do, again, the team in front of him is also feeling bad. And I think there is a little bit of a snowball effect when you're struggling as a goalie. The team in front of you is struggling. So you feel the pressure of grade A chance after grade A chance. And I see Kyle in the chat says, I don't blame him for the 2-on-1 goals. And I really don't either. You're also allowed to make big saves would kind of be my counterpoint when you're a $5.3 million goaltender. So there's a lot of things that go into this. And is it all on Tristan Jarry? Again, no. The team in front of him has to be much better. I won't even say great. Would a good goalie mask some of these things? Yeah, absolutely. But and I'm jumping around a lot in how we're discussing this game. But even that 7th goal where Matt Duchene just walked in, flipped it to his backhand, roofed it. It's a beautiful goal when you watch it in real time. And then you look and you're like, okay, Spencer Stastny gets peeled off of, isn't expecting a spinorama in a 6-2 game with a minute left. Sure. Jake Wallman poke checks, misses, and then instead of staying with him, he just drops down to his knees and gets in Jarry's way. And it's again, I'm sure Jarry would love everyone to pull up that clip and he would sit there and go, see the shit I'm dealing with on a routine basis. You don't give up 7 goals just because your goalie's bad, I think is kind of my take. But that also could have very easily been a 4-2 hockey game where maybe the defensive deficiencies and the goaltending's not a part of the conversation. Well,
and look at what we've done this season when it is only a 4-2 game. Is there any team in the league that's as good at making these comebacks that a lot of people count you out for? So staying in the game is important. You don't need to be the best goaltender on the planet to be a good goalie for the Oilers right now. You just need to keep us in games and let the Stars, the majority of the time, do what they do and come back and win.
I won't even, we've all used, sorry, go ahead, Aaron.
Analytics are analytics, but when I saw this last night.
Yeah, I mean, the expected goals, and that's all situations too. So that includes the power play where, again, the Oilers' power play is historic once again this season. Last night, they got a couple chances and didn't really get much of a sniff. Dallas did a good job keeping them to the outside. But yeah, you look at that and you go, all right, that should have been. Dallas was almost a full expected goal better than the Oilers. That is, as far as expected goals go, a pretty significant margin. But that right there.
They lost by 5.
That doesn't scream. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Right. That doesn't scream 7-2 to me, which again points to a myriad of issues with this hockey club right now. And with all of that being said, when this road trip started on last Sunday against Vegas, if I would have sat here and said, hey, they're going 3-1 in Vegas, in Colorado, in Dallas, in St. Louis, if I said they go 3-1, everybody would have said massive victory.
Take it. Yeah.
Oh my God, take it and run. People probably would have taken 2-1-1, I think is what Liam and I kind of said is that's the bar. If you go 2-1-1, this is a success. They still have a chance to make this road trip a resounding success. And the expectation that they're just going to go on the road to Vegas, Colorado, and Dallas, 2 of the best 3 teams in the NHL, and a team in Vegas that is right with you in the standings. The idea that they could just go and steamroll and win all 3 of those, that's unrealistic. It's the 7-2 that bothers everybody, I think. If they lose that game last night 4-3 and just like in Colorado have 10, 15-minute stretches where they dominate, we're not sitting here bitching. If Jarry gives up 4 goals on 30 shots last night, no one's sitting here bitching. But it's the fact that when it's bad, it's just this bad.
Well, and it's also too bad it wasn't the first game of the 3 that we lost this bad, because then we all would have been grumpy for that. But then we'd think we're just on an absolute heater and have the confidence going into St. Louis tonight to dummy them. But yeah, it's kind of tough when it's right in the middle of the road trip. You get just punished.
Yeah. One more thing while we wait for our friend Jeff Merrick to get set up here, and a bunch of people saying it in the chat. Do you just put Tristan Jarry on waivers? And Puckpedia had a tweet about this the other day. No, you cannot put Tristan Jarry. You can waive him, but he can't go down to Bakersfield. After the deadline, only players that can be sent down are those that were in the AHL on deadline day. If you remember, that is why the Oilers put Josh Szymanski and Doc, and they paper transactioned those guys back down so that if they needed to send them down at some point, they could. But Puckpedia clarified it. After the deadline, the only players that can be sent down are those that were in the AHL on deadline day or spent most of the season in the AHL, but were on the NHL roster on injured reserve at the deadline. So Jarry does not meet either one of those two pieces of criteria. So if the Oilers are going to make a recall, and let's say they recognize that Jarry is unplayable right now, and based on the numbers, I don't think that's an unfair term to use when describing him. Based on the numbers, maybe they feel that way. They would have to find another way to make room on the roster for Pickard and carry 3 goalies. What's up, Nation citizens? If you enjoyed today's episode of Oilers Nation Everyday, make sure you hit the subscribe button here on our YouTube to not miss any of our content. We got you covered from interviews, insight, analysis, everything you need to stay up to date on everything around the team. Hit that subscribe button so you don't miss a video.